Sure you ain't from the Hawk, man. Kiss my ass.
Bro, just look at this. It's just crazy.
I put trademarks around your fucking eye.
Alright, well let the motherfuckers stay.
Hate, I don't wanna hear your comments. Getting so much hate, I can feel it in my stomach. RIP the juice, so many perks, I need a vomit. Little Miss Dolly got a name at the comment. Rogue and you hate, I don't wanna hear.
Yo, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys all enjoy that little intro. Today we are going to be editing a photo in Lightroom, and I'm going to be teaching you guys how you guys can turn this photo into this photo. A little context to these photos. These photos were taken in the Salton Sea out in Mecca, 30 minutes away from where I live here in India, California. And the Salton Sea is the biggest man-made lake here, but it's very deserted because it's really fucked up and toxic, and I don't know what's going on over there, and they're supposed to clean this some point in time. But yeah, but we went out there 2 weekends. The first weekend we went out there and my camera was acting funny. We were shooting around sunset and I didn't have a chance to really dial in my settings, and a lot of the photos came out blurry that I liked. So we went back the following weekend, which was last weekend, and we got these bangers for Lizette's birthday. Her birthday was this past Tuesday. Today's Friday. So yeah, basically I'm gonna be showing you guys my workflow here on Lightroom, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. If you guys do, please consider subscribing. I do videos on music videos, I do vlogs, I do tutorials now. So if you're interested into photography or cinematography, this is a channel for you. And follow me on my Instagram at CaesarJSid. But other than that, let's get into editing this photo. I intentionally underexposed Lizette so I could keep a lot of the information in the sky and the sunset. It was a killer sunset when we were out there. There's a fire going on over here in Beaumont, and I mean, that's sad, but it calls for some dramatic photos on my end. There's a little bit of skies. The orange was from the fire, actually, the clouds, and the blue was obviously the sky. So yeah, I wanted to preserve the highlights, and you can always get the shadows back, but you can never retrieve the highlights. So keep that in mind when shooting around sunset if you want to take pictures like these. But yeah, man, let's get into the edit. What I like to do first is obviously remove chromatic aberration and enable profile corrections, and that's gonna remove any of the distortion from the lens and stuff. So yeah, that's what I like to do first. I like to see what I'm working with, so I increase the exposure real quick. Let's see, let me crush the highlights to get a little bit more information there. Lift the shadows. You see the difference already by just preserving the highlights and increasing the shadows. Let me decrease the whites to get more information and increase the highlights. So the image is a little bit flat right now. What I like to do after that, I like to add an S curve to my images. Just a simple S curve. I like to lift the shadows so it could be a cinematic looking image. I do this to all my images. Doesn't matter what type of photo, as long as it's like my personal photo, not like real estate or anything like that. Just my personal photo for my personal use. I lift the shadows and crush the blacks. Yeah, so at this point, it looks already pretty good. You can see the before and the after. You can see the huge difference. You see a lot of these shadows, you can see what's going on, and the blues are still there. What I like to do is sometimes decrease the texture, decrease the clarity, especially for like when you're shooting females. You don't want that harsh look. It makes them look really bad. So I tend to do that. When I'm shooting for myself, I don't really care. I really just keep pushing the boundaries when I do my edits. But when it comes to shooting females and doing portraits, I tend to keep the clarity a little bit down and the texture for the skin tones. But right here it doesn't really matter because we're not really looking at the skin tones. She's a little bit too far away. What I do on my edits, I increase the vibrance and I decrease the saturation. That's just the look that I go for and what I tend to achieve with my personal look. I increase the saturation on the reds. I increase the saturation in the oranges. You see that? I might increase a little bit of the luminance. Just a tiny bit. Play around with the hues to see what I like. Kind of like this orangey look for this image. A lot of the time it's just playing around and see what you like. I've tried the very desaturated look and I tried the very saturated look, and I think my style is just a little bit in between, not too saturated but also not too desaturated. The yellows, let me increase them so I get the colors of the sun and the smoke into the image. And you can see it's a little bit orangey, but I think it looks good right now. The greens, there's no greens, but I like to desaturate all my greens usually. The blues, or the aquas I mean, I just play around with it to see what it does to my image. Yeah, so for this image I like to keep the blues and so it contrasts with the orange of the sunset. Purple I usually keep down, magentas keep down. All right, so this is where the magic happens for me. In my images I like to have a bluish teal tint to my images. That's a little bit too much. That's just my personal style. You see that it just adds a lot of blues in the bottom of the image. Yeah, so for my images, like I said, I like to keep some blues. So around 184 is my sweet spot with a little bit of saturation, not too much. Like I said, I don't really like too much colors in my images. For example, right now, because I added the blues in the shadows, the blues in the skies look very weird. So I'm gonna go and decrease saturation on that. So yeah, even out a little bit more. Like I said, I like a very neutral type of colors. I don't like them too vibrant and also not too desaturated. Sharpening, I'm gonna decrease it so there's not a lot of noise, and I'm gonna increase the noise reduction, right? So if you could kind of see some noise in her face and stuff, and I'm gonna increase the noise reduction to 28, and it looks a little bit like more like a painting, I guess. And we're like almost done with this image. What I like to do is I like to make the subject pop. What I like to do to make the subjects pop, I like to get the adjustment brush, and this little thing you can press K on your keyboard to get that. I like to zoom in on my subject, and I like just to color. If you press O on your keyboard, this little red thing comes out, and it basically helps you see what you're coloring. And right now it looks funny, and there's obviously a reason for this and why I'm doing this. I'm trying to make the subject pop out of the image a little bit more, lift more of the shadows and put a little bit more light into my subject so it just pops out. Right here, I'm just making sure you could be as like neat as possible. Usually I'm very bad at it unless I know that that's gonna be like an Instagram banger and I want to take my time. But basically I'm just gonna color her all the way around to make her. It's not perfect. There's little spots right here where I might want to erase. You can scroll down here and you select the erase. I'll make this smaller and I'm gonna erase a little bit. I mean, I don't know if I should keep her dress. It's black. I don't really care for it. Just want to clean it up a little bit more. I'll scroll a little bit up. That looks fine, right? She looks red now. You can select circle again. the red tint goes away and you play with the exposure. You know, usually I just like try to do it just a tiny bit, just enough so, like I said, my subject pops out. I want to increase the highlights, increase the shadows, increase the whites, increase the blacks, just enough. So see right there, it's too much. It looks funny. My computer's kind of laggy because I'm using too many applications right now. But yeah, I want to decrease the blacks just a tiny bit. Find a little sweet spot where I might add some warmth to the image, just so the skin tones look a little bit better. Want to increase a little sharpness into it, and if you press enter, that thing goes away. What I can do is I can add a graduated filter to the bottom portion of the image. You press circle again, you get the red thing, and I want to decrease the exposure on this side of the image to kind of balance it. My computer's laggy right now, hold on. See, it's a little bit too much, but it gives me like a moody image, and it fits my style, I feel like, and it just makes my subject pop even more. You want, like I said, you want to lead your audience to your subject. You don't want to leave them hanging. But yeah, this right here is looking really good right now. You see how, just look at the difference. You went from not seeing her to her popping out. I think right now this image is still too saturated for my test. So I'm gonna press enter to get out of the graduated filter, and I'm gonna go back and decrease the vibrance, decrease the saturation, and that's looking kind of nice right now. I might even get this picture in on a canvas for my room, because it just looks crazy. You know, it looks like we took this picture in a beach, but we took this in an abandoned man-made lake here in the Coachella Valley, which is crazy. Usually I'm pretty good at framing my subjects when I'm shooting, but I'm a little bit off. I use the crop tool so I could have her be in one of the lines in the rule of thirds, just so it could be a good composition and it's pleasing to the eye. Boom. And I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, man, this is the final product. I think it came out really well. I think this is Instagram worthy. It's an Instagram banger, and I might even print this out on a canvas and have it on my room because it just looks really good. But yeah, man, that's how I edit my photos most of the time, and I try to keep the same colors, the same color palette in my photos for my Instagram, so it could look very well. But yeah, if you found this video interesting and if it helped you out in any way, please leave a comment. Let me know what you learned. And yeah, man, follow me on my Instagram. Like I said, let's get me to 200 subscribers. I'm at 190. Oh yeah, and the video I posted last week with the reaction video with my brother Lil B, it has 23 likes. Let's get it to 25, and we're gonna create a secondary channel so we can do pranks, we can do reaction videos, we can do challenges, we can do whatever on that channel. So let's get us to 25 likes so we can do that. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.